The United States is going to remain a powerful leader in the Indo-Asia Pacific. And our joint forces will continue a robust and persistent presence in the region, just as we routinely have for over 7 decades. As a PACOM commander, I'm proud of the work of all of our teammates in operations across all the domains: land, sea, air, space, and cyber. Fate rarely calls upon us at a moment of our choosing. That's to provide all of us a sense of urgency to ensure PACOM is prepared to fight with the best technology of any force on the planet.
Seeks to have that dominance in that part of the world.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I appreciate the time. I yield back.
Ms. Gabbard.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Admiral Harris, aloha, welcome.
Aloha.
I've just returned back to Washington yesterday after holding a whole string of town hall meetings across the state of Hawaii on each island. And the question and concern raised about North Korea's threat, yes, to the United States, but specifically to Hawaii, was a constant question and theme that came up on each of our islands there. Given Hawaii is home to your headquarters, how do you characterize the threat of North Korea specifically to Hawaii, and how confident are you in our current BMD capabilities against that threat?
Yeah, thanks, Congresswoman. I am concerned about it. I believe that our ballistic missile architecture is sufficient to protect Hawaii today, but it can be overwhelmed. And you know, if Kim Jong-un or someone else launched ballistic missiles, ICBMs against the United States, and then you know, someone would have to make a decision on which ones to take out or not. So that's a difficult decision. I think that we would be better served. My personal opinion is that we would be better served with a defensive Hawaii radar and interceptors in Hawaii. I know that that's being discussed. I don't want to get ahead of those discussions, but I think we ought to study it for sure, and then make that decision as a department what the best way forward is. But Kim Jong-un is clearly in a position to threaten Hawaii today, in my opinion.
Thank you. And in what you're suggesting, having a radar as well as interceptors in Hawaii specifically, how confident are you in that technology that's being discussed in being able to effectively intercept an ICBM coming towards us?
It depends on the systems. You know, I'm getting ahead of ourselves just a little bit, because you know, I'm suggesting that we study the basing of interceptors in Hawaii. The type of interceptors, you know, that's the next level of detail, which I'm not part of that discussion. I think that the defensive Hawaii radar is coming. I think the interceptors piece is something that's yet to be determined. But I believe we should certainly look at it, and I think we'd be somehow not doing our job if we didn't look at it.
And could you expand a little bit on what you mentioned on the current BMD capability being sufficient, but if overwhelmed, would create a situation where difficult choices would be made? Could you maybe spell out a scenario?
In this hearing room, I'll just say that we have X number of interceptors that can shoot down Y number of targets, and if the opposition fired Y+1, then that's at least one. That will get through.
Thank you. Recently, I think about a month ago, the acting Assistant Secretary of State made a statement basically saying that the pivot to Asia is effectively over. What is your take on that statement, and how have you seen the practical implications of that?
Yeah, so I believe that the phrase was, well, you know, the term pivot and the term rebalance, those are just words that describe what America is doing. And I believe that what we are doing is continuing to place an importance on the Indo-Asia Pacific region. I believe that Secretary Mattis's first trip was to the region. The Vice President, I was with him when he returned from the region through Hawaii. I believe that these send the right signal to our friends, allies, and partners and others that the United States remains steadfast in our placing of the Indo-Asia-Pacific region as the most important region for America's future. I think the President's relationships with Prime Minister Abe in Japan, with President Xi in China, and all of that are positive. And it demonstrates to the folks out there that we do value what's happening in the Indo-Asia-Pacific. Even though the terms, quote-unquote, pivot or rebalance or something may be out of vogue, I think our nation remains focused on the region, as we should.
Yeah, it's what's actually happening that matters. I appreciate your leadership through your long tenure of service based in Hawaii, but really always bringing to light the challenges as well as the opportunities that we face there in the region. Thank you.
Thank you.